Thank you, Matt. Thank you for having me out tonight. Really appreciate it. Great crowd. Very exciting to talk to the students from Tufts University because you have a great reputation. And my sister went to Tufts in the 70s and had her car stolen here. So I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys, but it's a great university. And glad you care about hemp, cannabis, and prohibition. I'm going to talk about all of these things and why prohibition is a bad thing, why cannabis is a good thing. And the object of my talk is to inspire you to do class projects, papers, research studies, any kind of work related to cannabis, hemp, and its prohibition. So no matter what subject you have, and we'll go through a lot of different subjects tonight, I want you to try to think of an idea to do a project or a paper on that. And the benefits of that are you educate yourself about cannabis, hemp, and how good it is. You educate your classmates about it, which is really neat too. But maybe the most important thing is you educate your professors about this. And this is my idea of reverse education. We need to teach the older generation about cannabis, hemp, and how bad prohibition is. They don't really realize it. We all sort of know. We're in on the secret. But we need to let them know about it. So this is a good way to do that. And the end result of this is creating a database, online database, that I need help creating if we have any computer science majors out there. Cannabis Curriculum Clearinghouse. And it's going to be a database where people put research studies in, and they take them out to do their research, and as they write their papers, they put it in. It's just going to be this huge database of information. But we got to start somewhere, so I want your help to do some papers, and at the very least, you'll learn about cannabis hemp. So we'll just jump right in. Everybody talks about environmental things, being green. That's like the huge thing. So if you want to do a paper or you want to study something green, study hemp. You can make plastic out of hemp. This little piece of black, this is hemp plastic from about 15 years ago. This is a sample where they didn't have anything really cool like a CD case like they're making now. But you can study how they turn the cellulose in these hemp stalks. Hemp stalks are really long and tall. They grow up to 10 feet tall. The fiber is on the outside. The long bast fiber is what you make shirts out of. But the inside is this woody material called herds. It's very high in cellulose. And that cellulose can be made into a number of things, including plastic, because it's got carbon in it. Plastic is carbon. If you want to do a paper on fuels, hemp is amazing. You take hemp seeds, press these, you can make biodiesel fuel, and the car smells really good. Believe me, it smells great. So that you can make biodiesel, but it's very efficient. Ethanol in the stalk can be, or the cellulose in the stalk can be made into ethanol. These herds can also be compressed into wood pellets for your wood-burning stoves, which are very big up here in the Northeast. And also hemp creates a huge amount of biomass. So you could calculate how much biomass an acre of hemp would create and compare that to corn, which is a very inferior type of crop in a lot of ways compared to hemp. So write that comparison, do that analysis, and prove how good hemp is. Tree-free paper. You can make a lot of paper out of 1 acre of hemp. In 1916, the United States Department of Agriculture did a study, and they proved that you can make 4 times as much paper out of 1 acre of hemp than you can out of 1 acre of trees, which is really amazing, 4 times as much. So we need to stop deforestation, we need to start using hemp for paper, and we need to let people know. And you can also, the long fibers in the hemp plant make the paper stronger, it lasts longer, it's much better for recycling, so it's a great alternative for recycling. The biomats, the fiber can be made into these mats where they put down on land to prevent erosion. So you could study how that can be used to help the soil. Hemp seed oil, for hundreds of years, painters have used hemp seed oil in their paints. And now a new company has just come out. Hemp Shield has this a wood finish where you can start, companies are coming out with green paints and green finishes, again, made with hemp seed oil. So study how that works. And hemp grows really fast and really tall, so it blocks out all the weeds. You don't have to spray herbicides on it to kill other plants. And that's really good for the environment, especially compared to cotton. So you could do a comparison of that. So these are just some ideas for environmental studies, and if you have any questions, raise your hands or we'll have questions later. More environmental studies. We're talking about cars here. Henry Ford made a car out of hemp fiber in other plants in 1941. And that's him testing it with a sledgehammer. And it did not dent the panel because it was sort of a plastic-like, and it rebounded. Now the Kestrel is a new hemp car that's coming out. They're building a couple thousand of them in Canada this year. And the panels are a hemp composite material that's flexible and lighter than metal, and it's a tremendous material. BMW, Mercedes are also using hemp in molded car parts, interior parts of the doors. So automakers want to be green. They're finding out that hemp is just a tremendous resource for that. Phytoremediation. Hemp has an incredible characteristic. It draws toxins out of the soil, and it can help detoxify land. And they used this around Chernobyl in the 80s after that nuclear accident. And unfortunately, hemp may be called into duty again in Japan to help remediate some of the damage done by the nuclear accident there. So that it's amazing how it takes the toxins out and stores them in the seeds. And if we can use those seeds, somehow recycle all those toxins back into their, repurpose them, could sort of just recycle that whole system. Recycling, there's all sorts of things. I've been talking about tree-free paper is good for recycling. All these cars, you can recycle the car parts, and it's just amazing all the different things that hemp can do. So if you want to talk about recycling, you can work on that. If anybody has an architecture class or construction class, this is the future right here. This is hemp concrete, hempcrete. These are the herds, the inside part of the stalk, crushed up and mixed with lime and water, and that's it. And it turns it into this really nice, it's sort of crumbling away, it's a small sample. But you can see them blowing it into the walls there, and they're making houses out of it, both for the walls, floors, and ceiling insulation. It sequesters carbon dioxide, so it helps reverse the greenhouse effect. It's fireproof, mold resistant. It's just incredible, and it's breathable. It absorbs moisture when it's humid outside, and then it lets the moisture out when it's dry. So it's just this tremendous material that they're starting to use. They're building houses in Asheville, and they're having really good success on the energy characteristics. It saves a lot of energy the way this hempcrete breathes and just modulates the temperature. So that's just incredible, and it's a good thing because it's easy to make, and I think that's going to be a really big product. You can actually build an entire house out of hemp. You've got the hemp concrete. You can also make hemp particle board out of the herds. Now this particle board is stronger and more flexible than wood particle board, and you don't have to cut down trees to make it. So it's very, very cool. So you have the particle board, you got the cement, you got hemp carpet, has been around for a long time. It's very durable and tough. All sorts of hemp fabric. That's a hemp silk tapestry that I had some friends tie-dye for me. So they have hemp blends with all sorts of different materials. It dyes beautifully. It's very strong and durable. So you can work with that. You've got insulation. So you can basically build an entire house out of that. One football field worth of hemp you can grow enough hemp in one football field to build one house. So that's pretty amazing if you wanted to build your own house out of hemp. And then if you tear down a wall or whatever, you just crumble this up, throw it back in the land, and it turns into nutrients. So it's totally recyclable. Engineering. If we have any engineering students out there, this is one area we really need help. Because of prohibition, because they made marijuana illegal in 1937, they actually made hemp illegal in 1937. So there's been very little research done into the harvesting equipment, processing equipment, and manufacturing of hemp fiber and the plant. And it's a very tough plant. The fiber is very strong and tough, so it's hard to harvest and it's hard to process. This is an old picture. And so we need to advance from these models into better, newer models, newer technology. And also the fiber, hemp fiber, it grows, the stalks grow 10 feet tall, and the fiber runs the entire length of the stalk. So the tensile strength of this fiber is very, very strong. And that's why it makes such good composite plastics, because you can use this long fiber to mold it into composites. But we need more analysis in this area, so if you want to come up with a hemp plastic composite, that would be a great contribution.